Welcome to the Horror Fanatic, horror movie reviews for horror movie fans. Tonight, we're going to talk about the 2016 film, The Greasy Strangler.
The Greasy Strangler was directed by Jim Hoskin. Michael St. Michaels plays Big Ronnie. Sky Albar plays Big Braden, and Elizabeth DeRazzo plays Janet. So Ronnie runs this disco walking tour with his son Braden. After they both fall in love with the same woman, insanity ensues. All of this while the mysterious Greasy Strangler is terrorizing the town.
And now let's talk about what we liked about the film.
So to me, this film looks really, really good. For such an independent, obscure movie, they did a really good job filming this. There's really nice practical effects done in this. I mean, I wouldn't really guess I'd call them nice. They're just really gross and over-the-top practical effects. Some really gross prosthetic penises you will see in this. I was laughing, but even though it's really gross and cringeworthy, I was laughing as much as I was cringing, for sure. I just, start to finish, non-stop laughter. The music was great. The acting was weird and awkward and great. It was just a fantastic film. Laura, what did you think?
I agree. I love weird, awkward humor. This is like Tim and Eric, awesome show, great job. If you have ever heard of that show and know that you don't like that show or don't like their humor, this is not the movie for you. It's a very awkward, weird kind of movie. What did you think, Adam?
Well, I definitely agree that it was funny, and that's probably my favorite part of this movie, is it was laughing from the moment that it started until the end. I don't know Tim and Eric, and I have been made fun of a lot for not knowing what that is. So I attribute it's a Napoleon Dynamite meets Trauma films. Another thing I liked about the movie, though, is I like repetitive humor. Not everybody likes repetitive humor. I think it's called beating a dead horse. There's so many jokes in this movie that they take a step too far and then another step too far, and I absolutely loved it. For me, that's funny. For others, it might be annoying. And then just the last point that I wanted to make was that the conversations in the movie were to die for. There is a point in the movie where people are talking about the potato chips and the machine that he didn't get, when there are conversations about putting grease in your coffee. Absolutely love the conversations in this movie. A very solid point to the movie for me. So now let's talk about what we did not like about this film.
So this movie, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. There are just some really great films that are so obscure and weird that it takes a certain kind of mindset to understand. And maybe it's like a little crazy as hell. But if you can get this kind of film, if you can get the really weird, stupid, sick humor, you'll really enjoy it. I mean, but if you don't, you're going to hate it. You know, if you don't like that kind of stuff, that's all this movie is. So if you don't like that, don't watch this. It's because it's strange, stupid, and sick. But I love those things. And this movie does it so well. The acting is also really weird, but it's very intentional. But if you don't like that intentionally weird scripting and acting, then this isn't going to be for you. Laura, what do you think?
I agree. My pro is also my con. It's not a mainstream movie. Like, if you don't get weird, awkward humor, then this is just not going to be your movie. Yeah. My only other con is I wanted more of it. And I'm hoping they do a sequel soon.
Yeah, I want to see more.
What were your cons, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, you guys touched on the polarizing effect of a movie like this, and I agree 100%. I think with Napoleon Dynamite being one of my examples, people either loved it or they hated it. I don't think there was a lot of middle ground. I think I might have used a little bit more explanation on why the Greasy Strangler did what he did, although that could have been intentional from the director. It probably was, but some people might want a little bit more information. The other part of the movie for me is I love repetitive humor, but some of the prosthetics that Travis mentioned a little bit earlier, They used a lot of those, very excessive amount of those, and that could be a very big turnoff for some people. So I would say that's the only thing I could even possibly come up with for this movie. So now we're going to move into a section that we like to call, What's in the Box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
This movie is an indie film, independent film. It aired in Sundance. Sundance has a special section called Midnight Releases or something like that, and that's where this film first got its light of day. The actor Elijah Wood from the Lord of the Rings fame, he's really big into horror, and he read the movie script for this movie, and he absolutely loved it, laughed his butt off, and he was a huge part of getting this film produced in the first place. And then I also read that the movie actually wasn't even supposed to come out in the first place. The director and his co-writer, they both wrote it. It was a joke to them. They were like trying to make each other laugh. They didn't think it was going to be something that would actually be released, and thank goodness they did. Travis?
All right, so the music in this is really well done, and it's all done by a guy by the name of Andrew Hung, who's also from a band called Fuck Buttons. So if you're interested in that, you can go look it up, because the music does really add to this film. Another quick tidbit is that the director did a segment from the ABCs of Death that was G for Granddad, which was also an excellent and really weird sketch. And I feel like this movie was just a build upon that first idea. So if you like this, definitely try to find that. Laura?
We bought the Blu-ray special director's edition, and it had, we watched we haven't watched all of the special features, we still need to do that.
Yeah.
But we watched the interviews with the three main characters, and Ronnie, the guy who played Ronnie, seemed to be just really happy to have a job and wanted to work on this project. Braden, in his interview, he's either very method or he's very similar to his character in real life.
Either way, it's pretty awesome.
Hard to say.
And the girl who played Janet, I won't go into details of what she said, but she had some interesting insight to what her character's motives were. And it made me think about the movie in a different way. I kind of like that. So definitely check out the special features if you get a chance to. Now we're going to go into our final scores and our favorite scenes from the movie.
I give this movie a solid A. It might have even gotten an A+, but I'm going to go with an A for now. I think that it was extremely funny, extremely weird in the best way possible. The conversations were great. I think it will be a little bit polarizing, and perhaps they could have explained a little bit more. And I was also thinking that it could use a little bit more of the horror elements, but it's definitely a solid A. And my favorite scene was the scene where three of the characters erupt into a chant. They, actually, Ronnie calls Janet a hootie tootie disco cutie, and they proceed to erupt into that over and over and over again until you get sick of it and then you love it again. Travis?
Alright, so this movie's definitely an A+ for me. I'm so drawn to weird and wacky and bizarre, and this movie just captures everything that I love about weird movies. My favorite scene of this film was the potato scene, or the potato chip scene. Three of the people who are on Ronnie's tour for the disco walking tour, you see at a point in the film where they're at a hotel and they're getting stuff out of a vending machine, and the Indian guy is ordering I think it's paprika flavored potato chips, and he gets them, and the African guy asks him what the chips are made of, and the Indian guy responds with Porto. And then the African guy proceeds to ask him again to repeat what he said. And that goes back and forth for about 5 minutes. It is the most ridiculous thing, and it definitely sold me on this film. When they got to that part, I knew that this was an A+ movie for me. All right, Laura.
I gave it an A+ as well. It's a very, very strange and unusual movie, and I myself am strange and unusual. So it's definitely an A+. My favorite scene is one that's repeated several times throughout the movie, where one of the characters goes through a car wash and proceeds to get smacked by all of the brushes over and over and over again. And I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
All right, I think that's all we have to say about this movie. If you like strange and unusual things, definitely check this movie out.
Don't miss this film. This is an excellent film of like just bizarre absurdism. Absolutely check this out if that's something you're interested in, even in the least. Just give this one a look.
Embrace your weird.
Yeah, for sure.
So, thanks for watching.
Yep, see ya.